Hi, everyone. So I am with Cara, who is our amazing writing specialist at our SoCal Writing Center. And Cara, I have a couple questions for you to help our students better understand the services and support you can provide. So I'm going to go ahead and hop right into those.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a great question. Statistics. We actually offer statistics coaching, and that's something that people don't really associate with the Writing Center. But we actually have a statistics coach named Miguel, and he does some amazing work. So if you have any kind of questions about statistics or you need tutoring around that, he is your guy. So definitely make an appointment with Miguel if you have any questions about statistics. E-tutoring. So we offer tutoring where students can submit their papers and we give comments and feedback and then we send it back to them. So I would say that is our most utilized resource, is what we call e-tutoring.
E-tutoring, okay. And that's for that could be for dissertation chapters or for writing assignments for just regular classes, really anything?
Yep, anything. So usually if a student submits something like a dissertation, it takes us more than one appointment, of course. So we would chunk it up into pieces. So we would like take, maybe a chapter, maybe less than a chapter, depending on how long it is. And then we look at that, send it back, and then they can make another appointment and we can continue to look through the document. One-to-one tutoring. So we offer one-to-one tutoring. We even have in-person tutoring on Wednesdays. So if students want to make an in-person appointment, they can do that. And that's something that we don't see a lot of yet. So I'd love to see students make more one-on-one appointments where they can actually work with me and talk through their paper, and actually get help that way. I find that's the most helpful for students.
Could you briefly just differentiate then what is the difference between e-tutoring and these one-on-one appointments?
Yeah,
Or are they the
absolutely.
same?
Yeah, so e-tutoring is just you submit your paper, we make comments on it, and we send it back. Whereas one-to-one tutoring, we actually meet with you virtually or in person, and we talk through your paper. And we actually have like a whole module set up for that where you can submit your paper and we look at it together live or virtual, in real time is the key. So it's actually nice because you have someone to talk through your paper with you.
Wow, that sounds really cool. What are your hours for the in-person? I'm assuming for the Los Angeles campus, but for Wednesdays, what are those hours?
Yeah, so Wednesdays we're available from 10:30 to 3. They should be bringing, obviously, their paper, but also it helps us if they bring their assignment sheet. So like if the professor put down what they want out of the assignment, that's really helpful to bring. It's also really helpful when students prepare questions ahead of time, instead of just saying, oh, I just want help with general stuff, or like, I need help making this clearer. It helps us to be more specific. So if they can come up with questions about, I'm not sure about this section, or I have issues with my grammar, specifically verbs. I need help with this kind of thing. That really helps us focus the session, and make the most out of their time. And then finally, coming with an open attitude. I think, being ready for feedback, because, it's hard to get feedback on writing. So to hear feedback at all, you just have to have an open attitude about it.
I know sometimes some of our doctoral students will use these one-on-one appointments for like specific chapters and stuff. Do you have anything specific that they should prepare besides, of course, just like, chunking out their dissertation rather than sending all the chapters to you, but anything for them specifically?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, just like I said earlier, like just real specific targets for what they want to work on during the session. So especially if they're just submitting their paper through e-tutoring, it helps us to know what they want us specifically looking at, because we can't have a conversation with them about it in real time. So especially if they're using e-tutoring, it's really helpful for us to know specifically what they want help with. So we obviously see grammar issues. So that's something we see lots of different types of. We see things like commas are a big thing, verb tense. Just a quick note, make sure when you do research, you put it in the past tense, things like that. But the other thing I see issues with is APA formatting. That's something I get a lot of questions about. Some students are still using APA 6, so we just need to make that transition to APA 7. And then the third thing I see that is an issue is that students don't write with an outline. And I think that's one of the things that they could be doing that really helps with their writing and organization, especially. So students often just come in with a draft and that's all they've done. But if they outline first and then they use that outline to really structure their paper, that really makes a huge difference in how organized the paper is. So I think one of the big things is that students don't use an outline and that they should. I think one of the big things that students don't realize is that writing is a process. I think a lot of times we get scared because we have to do it perfect on the first draft. But that's not true, right? We have many steps to the writing process. We have to brainstorm our ideas, outline our ideas and organize them. Then we draft, which is the third step in the process. And then we can revisit and revise it. And that's when I recommend visiting the Writing Center, right? You have a resource here that's available to you to help you with that work. And then we go back through and we can edit. So really, it does not have to be perfect on that first draft, but rather treat writing like it's a process and that there's multiple steps and that you can really work through each of those steps to take your time and make it great.
Awesome. That's a really valuable piece of advice. It's sometimes hard when you're, in graduate school and you think oh, I have to get everything perfect on the first try. But it's great to know that you're here for our students to remind them it's okay if it's not perfect. That's what I'm here for. So thank you so much, Cara, for joining me today and giving us this information. We really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for having me.